Hi, I'm Nan Simonson with Aging Powerfully with Nan. I want to remind you that we are on a mission, and the mission is to drag along as many people as we can. In other words, our mission is a movement to age powerfully. How do we do that? We do that by moving every day. In other words, exercise. We do that by gaining resilience, by sleeping enough, 7 to 8 hours, and by relaxing and rejuvenating and de-stressing with meditation or mindfulness. We do that with community. Spend time with others in any way you can. I know it's a little hard during the coronavirus, but don't isolate. And then finally, we do it with food. And we do it, as far as I'm concerned, with as close as we can to a whole food, plant-based diet. My husband and I are whole food plant-based, have been going on 3 years now, no animal products, and we are healthier than we've ever been. You don't have to do this to live long, be healthy, enjoy vibrant health, balance, and joy in your life, but our movement is to get as many people as we can heading in that direction. Join us. Well, today I'm making some oatmeal cookies, and they are from a recipe of one of the patients that I work with at the Lifestyle Medical General Practice Clinic that I have been with for going on 3 years. And they are nothing but whole foods. Whole food is what we're looking at. Whole food, plant-based, not the stuff out of a box or a package, but as close to nature as grown as we can get it. So these cookies you're going to see begin with ripe bananas, and that's what a ripe banana looks like. It's one that I probably wouldn't want to eat. I just washed my hands because I like bananas a little more firm than that, but by the same token, the sweeter or the darker they are, the sweeter they are. And I'm going to mash the banana, and I'm going to add to that applesauce. And what you're not going to see in this recipe, excuse me as I turn this toward me, is what you're not going to see in this recipe is sugar. You're not going to see dairy. You're not going to see eggs. You're not going to see any form of fat. So this is the kind of cookie that you can give a child and know that his blood sugar isn't going to go through the ceiling and he's not going to be hanging off of the rafters with too much sugar. This is the kind of cookie that you can have with a cup of tea in the morning, and in essence, you're eating a handful of oatmeal. So I've mashed the banana. I'm adding to it organic applesauce. This happens to be organic Honeycrisp, and if you saw the New Year's Day demonstration of the triple apple cake that I did, I used, well, a cup and a half out of this jar. You can get very well priced, actually, an organic applesauce from Trader Joe's as well. And I have 1/3 of a cup, and you're going to get the recipe for this. And then I'm adding to that 1/3 of a cup of applesauce, 1/4 of a cup of plant milk, and in this case, I used almond milk, and a teaspoon of vanilla. Now, I'm going to mix and get it ready for the dry ingredients. Yum, yum. The banana is so fragrant because it was so ripe. I don't know if you've made banana nice cream. You can use your, I'm pointing to your Vitamix if you have a nice wide one, or a food processor. But super ripe bananas like this, when it looks like they're going bad and you think you're going to toss them, just peel them and put them in a freezer bag and put them in the freezer, because the nice cream is made with, that's that part of the banana I don't like, that bottom that gets a little bit fibrous. The nice cream is made with bananas that are super ripe, that are frozen, and then there's so much more you can do with it. I have some banana nice cream on my website, nansimonson.com, and I'm going to be doing a lot more on my website as we develop it. It's still under construction. So to this, I'm going to add oats, and this is organic rolled oats that are also gluten-free, because I have to be careful about the gluten. I'm highly sensitive to it. And then I have cinnamon, yum yum. And I'm going to mix these just a little, and then I'll throw in the two nubbier things. And they are raisins, or in this case, I have currants. I like currants because they're like a raisin, but look at the difference in size. That teeny little thing is a currant. So in every mouthful, you have a better chance of getting a currant than if you're using large raisins, in which case you might not even have a raisin in a cookie, because they don't blend quite as well. The thing is, I used to be able to get my currants easily from almost anywhere, and lately, and by lately I mean in the last 4 months, 6 months, when things became restricted and we couldn't get everything we wanted at the grocery stores, something happened with the currants, and I haven't been able to get currants since then. And then I have pecans, some chopped pecans, and I have 1/3 of a cup. If you don't eat nuts, now some people need to stay away from nuts. If they have one, they want a handful. If they have a handful, they want a cup. And if they have a cup, they'll eat the entire container. I love nuts, and my husband don't do that. We actually have this container on the counter all the time, and we come in and we eat our 2 Brazil nuts a day, and then we have a few more. Oh no, shoot. I really liked that container. I got it in Italy. Okay, done with that. So, that's what I get for doing too many things at once. Anyway, so we have our little bit of nuts every day, and that's it. We can do it that way, but I understand. Oh, you know what? We can't necessarily, because I bought toasted. Now, these are all raw, and I usually get organic. I bought dry roasted, salted, I was out of my mind, pistachio nuts, and put them in there. The two of us sit here and dig through it for the pistachios and can't stop eating them. That's why we mainly eat low salt, if not salt-free, low sugar, basically sugar-free, and we don't have added oils in our food, because those 3 combined make it very hard to stop eating anything. Okay, here's our dough, and I have the oven preset. Wait a minute, I have to kick out of the way my broken cover. It's so sad. All right, you got the recipe. You will have it attached to this. And I love this little ice cream scoop, because I can scoop up my cookie, and it just looks really nice that way. And this will give me 12 to 14 or more. I'm getting too wide. Yeah, I was gonna say I'm gonna slide it over. Yeah, I did, okay. I don't wanna make them so huge that I have 12 big fat ones. I don't mind them a little bit smaller, and so I don't wanna take all of that. All right. There we go. See, isn't that easier than having to push them off a spoon? And I left myself room for an extra one on the end. These will bake for 20 to 25 minutes. Barb Douglas, who shared this with us, says that sometimes she'll add dates. She'll soak a date and mash it up and add it to the recipe if she's feeding it to people who aren't used to whole food, plant-based, without a lot of sweets and processed foods, because their taste buds are so overstimulated that it's harder for them to appreciate something this subtle. And so she'll add a date or 2 chopped to in it, soaked and then chopped, in order to make it a little sweeter. I think this is wonderful just the way it is. I love it with a cup of herb tea if I want a sweet. And yeah, I consider it sweet because we don't eat a lot of sweets. But don't think, and this is where people make a mistake, if they're trying to watch their weight, if they're trying to maintain a weight, don't think that because something is whole food plant-based that it means you can have as much of it as you want. You can't. And the more sweet of anything, even slightly sweet that you have, the more you're used to that flavor and the more you want. My husband, if I try to serve him a dessert, will say, I'd rather not get used to this. And he means it. Because whatever you get used to, you tend to want more of, especially if it's what Dr. Doug Lisle, you should listen to his podcasts, talks about the, what, as they call it, the hyper palatable foods. Okay. So, this is what it looks like. I'm going to mash them down just a little bit to create a little wider of a surface area for them to kind of crisp up. All right. Now, let me get it in the oven. As I said, 20 to 25 minutes. You can leave them a little longer if you want them to get a little browner in your oven. There they are. And when they're cooked, this is what they look like. See, I think these are just great. I hope you're doing well. Remember, aging powerfully is something that we have control over. Join me. Let's have a movement. Let's get us all healthy and heading in the right direction in 2021. Bye, everyone.